What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you the final episode of the top 100 Beatles songs of all time, as voted by you guys. We made it to the top 5. Here we are. And you may be wondering why this is a whole different view in the background. It's because this is a Zoom meeting where I have a very special guest on the show with me here to talk about these choices in more detail. He's got a YouTube channel of his own, fantastic YouTuber in his own right. And we're going to be doing some more things in the near future. So get ready for that. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Johnny Radio, Mr. Nathaniel Ahart. And there he is.
That was such a lovely introduction there, John. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, man. Welcome to the show. Thank you for having me on your show. Now you're on mine. And if those of you who haven't seen the announcement yet, shortly, a few weeks after this, we're going to be doing a whole new countdown together. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm so excited to finally be on Johnny Radio. I've been watching this channel since at least 2020, so just kind of being on here is kind of surreal, but I can't wait for what the future holds, and I can't wait to talk about the top 5 Beatles songs in our estimation here.
Yeah, man, this is going to be great. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it at number 5.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad.
Hey Jude.
Yes.
The 1968 single that ended up eventually on the Hey Jude album, collection of singles that was released in 1970. Yeah, absolutely one of the best. Deserves to be in the top 5 for sure. I thought it was going to end up a little higher, honestly, but where did you think it was going to end up?
Number 5.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I went yes, because I knew it. No, this is such a great song, and obviously, like, even the normies who don't know the Beatles, this is the song that they all gravitate toward too, and say, "Oh, this is one of the best songs of all time." And I remember, I have very fond memories of getting into the Beatles. Well, into the Beatles, I really knew like 2 of their songs at this point. But middle school, we had a cabaret night with the select choir. I was in Con Brio, and one of my old friends, before we were really friends, he performed Let It Be there, and so that was my introduction to that song. And then we all performed Hey Jude after. So that was really my 1-2 punch entryway into the Beatles. And this song is just so euphoric. And it just the story about Paul writing it for Julian Lennon once John and Cynthia were getting divorced, just to comfort him. Who would have thought that it would have turned into like this anthem of sorts? And just the harmonies on here are so refined. Some of the absolute best ever from the Beatles, and just one of the best melodies Paul McCartney ever came up with. And just, of course, you get that explosive like 3-minute outro, the na 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 na, and it's just, I mean, it's incredible. And also that amazing moment where, is it true that George burned himself in the studio or something, and you got him yelling on tape, or is that just?
I didn't know about that. No, but it's very possible. You never know with the Beatles. They leave some stuff in there sometimes. But yeah, man, the fact that, I didn't know the story of, how it was written until much later. But when I heard it, it became even more powerful to me. Like the child of divorced parents myself. So it was just like, God, man, you gotta love Paul McCartney. And yeah, that outro, man, that just goes on forever. But it could go on even longer, because it's like every time he does it, he does like this different vocal riff on it. The choo 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 choo. It's wow, great, man. Like doing his own take on Ray Charles or whatever. It's just it's brilliant.
And further proof, if you need any, that he is one of the greatest vocalists in history. I mean, just one of the greatest singers of all time.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, glad you're approving of the list so far.
I do.
So now at number 4. The Abbey Road Medley. Yes! Oh, man, he's 2 for 2 already.
I'm 2 for 2. I knew it.
That's amazing, dude. You're a good guesser, man. But yeah, this is just, again, McCartney being most of the brainchild of this whole medley. starting with "You Never Give Me Your Money," which just that song alone, I think, is amazing. But then every song connected to it from there on out, all the way to, I count Her Majesty as part of it as well. There's not a weak moment, man. That whole sequence. So
no, you're absolutely right, and that's the thing that's so incredible about it, is just how it connects. And this is what I love about music, and this is why, further reason why Abbey Road is my favorite album of all time, is it's like a symphony, and you see these themes kind of weaving together, in kind of this cacophony of cohesiveness, I suppose, in sound and just unison, and I just absolutely love every song in this medley. Like you said, Golden Slumbers, yet again another one, and then of course Carry That Way. You gotta love the boy, you're gonna carry that way. It's just like, so yet again anthemic, but the way that all the musical motifs weave in together, it is just so complex. And it just blows my mind that someone was able to come up with something. And the guitar work from George Harrison is just absolute blistering best. And just I always look at the phrase at the end, and in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make. And what really defines the Beatles more than that, because they gave us so much, and we just ate it all up, and really they are the definitive statement of why music kind of like thrives, and the legacy lives on to this day, is because of how human and how filled of emotion their music is. And it's really absolutely, there's nothing that defines them more.
Yeah, the Abbey Road Suite, I mean, that is the reason that Abbey Road is my favorite Beatles album of all time. And yeah, it's just like the first time I listened to that album all the way through, that is what made me a Beatles fan. We've talked about this before. I know you had a similar experience, but I started with Abbey Road and then worked backwards. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many magical moments just in that suite, like the one you just mentioned, the beautiful just send off of that last lyric. The fact that they all were taking turns on guitar solos on the end, all three of them, which they all have kind of, a voice of their own, which is amazing. Ringo's first drum solo in that song. She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, which, was covered by multiple artists as a single song. Just incredible. And John had these pieces of Mean Mr. Mustard and Polythene Pam, but the way they weave them together as just this one thing is unbelievable, man. So so now at number 3,
yesterday all my troubles seem so.
Yesterday, 1965. That was your pick as well?
That was my 3.
Wow, man. All right. 3 for 3.
How you guys
this think. Is amazing. Yeah. But you're in tune with the audience. Well, I mean, you've been the audience for a long time, so that makes sense. But
it would make sense.
Yet another Paul McCartney classic, man. Unreal. What a melody.
Yeah. And just the fact that it came to him in a dream. I have melodies that come to me in my dream, but I wish that they were this good. And it's just crazy just how something so beautiful, like he had to remember this and bring it into the studio. And then of course, not only is the melody so beautiful, but that the orchestration that George Martin brought in for the strings, which is really one of the first of its kind, especially in contemporary music at the time. And just obviously the beautifully heartbreaking lyrics. This is one of the first Beatles songs I really fell in love with. And obviously I've heard it so many times that sometimes I'm kind of numb to it, but really it is one of the greatest songs of all time. And this was like in the earlier years too. So the fact that he pulled this masterpiece out of thin air really is just incredible. How can you not love this song?
Yeah. And the fact that he had to, because if I remember hearing correctly, he didn't really want to do it on his own, but it was like they couldn't find any better instrumentation for the song. So it was like everyone else were like, no, yeah, you do this on solo acoustic and it's perfect that way. And that's the beauty of the Beatles, man, just working cohesively to make the song better. no matter if it's less or more. But yeah, I also love how, it came to him in a dream and he couldn't think of the words yet. And he just used scrambled eggs instead of yesterday as a placeholder. That's so great. Kind of like the in the Get Back movie when they were George was trying to write something and he was like, oh, just sing like a cauliflower or whatever. I guess they just use food all the time. Go figure. But yeah. All right. So now at number 2.
I read the news today, oh boy.
A Day in the Life. I stumped you on that one, right?
Oh, you got me on
expecting that at 1.
I thought I had it. I thought I had it in the bag, but I will be honest. If you want me to show my list on the screen, I can.
No, I believe you, man. I totally believe you. But
oh, that's probably
okay.
But whatever.
But yeah, A Day in the Life. I was expecting that to be number 1 as well, just based on prior top hundreds that we've done here on the channel. A Day in the Life usually is the highest ranking Beatles song, and on multiple other lists, Rolling Stone included. So this was a surprise, but still the fact that it's this high speaks volumes.
Right. And I think that's what I took into consideration too when I was guessing, because it was like what, number 3 or was it number 2 on the Johnny Radio top 100 songs there?
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, wow, I'm really shocked. But I think most people who really study the Beatles and understand their influence and importance in music would say objectively, this is the best Beatles song of all time, which it absolutely is. And I think probably the last truly, and obviously there are great songs after, especially You Know My Name, Look Up the Number, which is also on this list.
Of course.
But I think the last truly amazing John Lennon, Paul McCartney collaboration, and just the way the part with John, that I read in the news today, oh boy, which it makes, it just sends chills down my spine every time.
It's such a haunting vocal.
No, really, and it's one of his absolute best, one of his most affecting, and how he weaves that story in with the especially when the dissonant strings come in to kind of lead into the Paul section that's kind of accented by that horn, and then you go, woke up, got out of bed, and dragged the comb across my head. And it's
that
like
transition is like kind of a precursor to what the Abbey Road suite would be, because it's like 2 totally different styles.
Right. And no, you're totally right in that, because that was really where they the genesis of all that, and then they just kind of expanded on it later down the road. But really, just this song is just a masterpiece in studio engineering, orchestration, and of course, obviously that ending chord where John and George Martin and Ringo all pound on that the piano. I mean, it is just amazing.
The chord that lasts forever, as they say.
Really, and it does. And of course, I'd rather skip the weird trippy vocals that they added on later. I just like them ending on that chord. But really, this is one of the most important songs of all time. And just John reading the newspaper, it has been so beautiful and just so heartbreaking, but yet so like full of energy. I don't know how to describe it, but it really is one of the greatest songs of this is like top 3 best song, or probably top 5 best songs of all time for me, because my favorite Beatles song is Here, There, and Everywhere, but this obviously is the best, and it's easily my second favorite.
I mean, it's truly just shows the brilliance of the Beatles and Lennon, especially, to just take an article out of the newspaper and write this just amazingly complex, beautiful song that and the orchestration, that's what really makes it for me, is and the fact that they experimented enough to just say, hey guys, go for it and do it in your own time, just go get from this note to this note, and it just sounds so amazing and unlike anything at that time. So what an album ender, my god.
One of the best besides probably sorry, I'm blanking on screen. The Desolation Row. There you go. You can edit that out.
Good choice. We'll have to do a countdown on album closers one day in the future. That'll be a good one. But for now, and now we know well, you know what number one is,
I know
but
what
does
number
everyone
one
else know? Here we go. At number one, something. George Harrison, baby.
Yes.
He makes it to number one. Oh man, one of the greatest melodies. Something in the way she moves. I mean, come on, man. And that chord progression is so amazing on guitar. If you're a guitar player, you know what I'm talking about. That walk down in that A minor 7. It's amazing. And the whole how many songs does Patty Boyd have written about her that are like just iconic? This is the best one of them, but
right.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
And it's interesting because then George Harrison also said, "Oh, I wrote it about God." So it definitely sounds right. It definitely sounds like it was written for Patty Boyd and is read as a straight love song. And really, this is probably like my third favorite Beatles song of all time. So I'm very satisfied with this top 3 here, and one of my top 10 favorite songs ever. I mean, this is the standout on Abbey Road, and really proof that George Harrison at that point in time kind of surpassed John and Paul as a song. I mean, he has the 2 best songs on Abbey Road. And as you were saying about the chord progression on here, I love the lift to C major on the right, or C sharp major right into the bridge, into the chorus. You know, that beautiful. You're asking me, will my love grow? I don't know.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, that lyrical passage is so beautiful where it's like, you know, like we're together, but it's like, have we kind of reached our limit of, you know, gaining, you know, this passion for one another, or is there still some love that can be, I guess, gained? And I just think it's one of the most beautiful, most brilliant lyrics I've ever heard in my life, and I think that is proof that George Harrison absolutely should be held in a similar light to Lennon and McCartney as a songwriter, because he was absolutely incredible.
And on that note, I think I believe it was Frank Sinatra did a cover of it, and he attributed it to Lennon and McCartney. And they were like, thanks, but this was actually Harrison on this one. So yeah, it's like George couldn't even, you know, get a bone after it was released. It's like, come on, guys. But yeah, Frank. It's just amazing how, you know, he went straight from this to All Things Must Pass. He had just so many great songs bottled up at that point, and really just exploding as in his own voice, and his guitar was kind of coming into its own as well. Just that little boom, 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 boom riff, and the strings, you know, coming behind that as the orchestration. They gave their all on this track, and let him have the leadoff single for the album, I believe. Unless it was Come Together, I can't recall.
No, I think it was a double A side, and I think that's the only time that George ever got that lead credit, which is just crazy. But obviously John and Paul recognized that this was just the masterpiece. And also I love Ringo's drumming on it, like in the chord. I mean, it's just so underrated. And yet again, I mean, between this, the end, I mean, how can you not think Ringo isn't a great drummer? It blows my mind that people say that, especially Beatles fans, but not many of them do, because they're not real fans. Anyway.
Exactly right. But yeah, Abbey Road, man, a masterpiece. And I'm actually happy that this ended up at 1 for multiple reasons. Of course, Abbey Road, George, my favorite Beatle, and this is not my personal favorite Beatles song, but it is in my top 3, of course. So yeah, I'm very psyched with how all this turned out. All you guys, thank you so much for voting. I mean, this has been my favorite top 100 thus far. It's just been it's been really fun along the way, and especially because now I've got this guy doing more stuff with me afterwards, which might as well go ahead and repeat that. If you have not yet seen the video, the announcement for the next countdown, it's going to be the top 60 albums of the 1960s. You can check that out above me here, and you got to vote on it, man. You got until April 1st, and then we're going to be counting it down shortly after on both of our channels. So make sure you subscribe to this guy. I never know which way to point with Zoom. It's so weird.
This way.
Yeah.
Right up here, guys.
Yes, but definitely do that, because it's gonna be every other episode on each other's channel in an attempt to boost each other. And that's what really this YouTube community should be all about, guys, helping each other out and sharing this beautiful gift of music that we all love. So thank you for watching. And do you have anything else to say, sir?
Well, yeah, I couldn't have said that better myself, John. But yeah, thanks you guys for, tuning into this, and also for everybody who already has contributed to some list. Really appreciate it. We can't wait to see what else you guys have for us. And I know some of you are going to be bringing us some lists very soon. But yeah, be sure to check out my channel, because obviously you're going to want to be checking out both of ours here. And just for clarification, no compilations that were recorded in the 60s, they have to have been released in the 60s. So no Smile sessions or the basement tapes or anything like that.
Exactly.
But compilations are on the table. That is fine. So yeah, but really, I'm so excited to put this list together with you, man, and talk about these great 60 records, because there's some stuff that didn't make both of our respective top 100 lists that I can't wait to see end up on this one.
Yeah, exactly. And discuss them together. That's going to be
Absolutely.
a blast, man. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks again so much, as always, for watching. And as always, Viva la vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.